Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Ring Report. Coming up on the AEW Ring Report, AEW had a whole lot of stuff going on tonight. As you saw, the debut of Malachi Black. Malachi Black, formerly known as Aleister Black, made his AEW debut, and he went against Cody Rhodes, and he took Cody Rhodes to the limit. We'll get to the latest. And is Cody teasing retirement? Well, that's the only stipulation that we kind of know what's going on with Cody. Hopefully, he's not teasing retirement right now. And could this be the all-out main event? Christian Cage is now the number one contender for the AEW World Title. He had 8 straight wins in his AEW debut, and Christian finally win the big one and become the AEW World Champion and overthrow Kenny Omega. We'll talk to you about that later on in the show and a whole bunch more. What about Heyman and Adam Page? Where his head at? What he's gonna do? A whole lot going on. All right, all right, all this and more, and plus two. We talk about the passing of Mr. Wrestling. Mr. Wrestling passed away. Also, too, where is Ruby Riott? Known now as Ruby Solo. What her intentions are going forward. We'll have the latest as we start. The Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Ring Report. It starts right after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this special edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Back here again. Thank God we're back. Um, my name is Kendra Dix. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling Here on Connect. Don't forget, don't forget, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, Mr. Karen. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. All right. What a busy week we've been having. It's been a busy week for me. Just getting back in the swing of things. It's been super busy. Um, I can just tell you that right now. We'll get to the latest down the road, down the future. All right. AEW Dynamite was tonight. As you see these 6 spectacular matches right here. You see Cody versus Malachi Black in the main event. You see legit Layla Hirsch versus the Bunny for the number one contenders for the NWA Women's Title. You see the Everrise, who was formerly known in WWE, now 2.0 with Daniel Garcia, who's an internet ICW good darling. They're going to be in action against Moxley, Darby Allin, and Eddie Kingston in the 6-man trios match. We'll get to that. Also, right here, Lee Johnson challenges Miro, God's favorite champion, for the TNT title. And Christian goes one-on-one against the Blade. Can Christian keep that perfect record going? We'll tell you. And also, Chris Jericho reuniting and fighting a former rival in Juventud Guerrero. Well, speaking of Chris Jericho, we saw him last week on Dynamite when he was beaten up to a bloody pulp after he had that horrendous match against Nick Cage, which that was a match. That was a match. It was a Crimson Mask match. Well, Jericho put none all the stops this week. Jericho went against Juventud Guerrero. Good, decent match right here. Jericho went against Juventud Guerrero. Jericho had to use a top rope finisher to win the match. Juventud Guerrero was doing those aerial attacks. Jericho did a top rope move. He did the Judas effect on the top rope and won. I was like, amazing. It was amazing. It's like Chris Jericho is being reborn again, but he's trying to get his hands on MJF. And now his fourth labor is Warlow. Now Warlow will take on Chris Jericho next week on Dynamite. And MJF will be in Warlow's corner. So next week, Chris Jericho will go against Warlow to advance in the fourth labor to get his hands on MJF, who he wants so bad. So Juventud Guerrero, he's in good condition, top condition. wearing the stuff, wearing that mask. So, and you remember Drew Guerrero, he was part of the WCW roster way back in the mid-90s. Drew Guerrero was part of the Cruiserweight division along with Jericho. Now, Drew Guerrero and Jericho, fast forward 30 years later, still doing it. So, big up. Also, too, we learned that Chris Jericho will be an announcer as well. He will team up with Excalibur, Taz, and Mark Henry. They will be the Rampage announce team. I mean, 4 guys to just do commentary. Man, I just keep it just a play-by-play, Excalibur and Jericho. Or Mark Henry, just do the 3. I know Taz wanted, I guess they just said, hey, we'll put anybody on here. So that's what they're doing. They're just gonna put anybody on there. So Taz, Excalibur, Jericho, Mark Henry, they're your new announce team for Rampage. What a Rampage is gonna be. And Excalibur, he's kind of like in a way a play-by-play guy because he knows the moves, he knows the holds. So hey, big up to Taz, Jericho, Excalibur, and Mark Henry. Also, too, Andrade continued on playing mind games with the Pac and the Lucha Brothers. Andrade trying to think the Lucha Brothers gonna work for him. Andrade did a backstage vignette with the Lucha Brothers with what's his name? Federal to Soul. He did one, and Chavo was trying to convince him, and it just didn't go all the way to his liking. Chavo and Andrade attacked the man and made the man kiss his feet. That's humiliating. That's embarrassing. I mean, Andrade coming from WWE, doing the same tactics he's been doing. He was in WWE. Now he's doing the AEW. So that was super embarrassing with that. Also, well, also too, no, not Jericho. Also, the Elite. The Elite came out there bragging about them being world champions. The Good Brothers being the Impact World Tag Team Champions. The Kenny Omega bragging about being AEW World Champion. The Young Bucks bragging about being AEW World Tag Team Champion. They hold all the gold, the Elite. They was trying to do that little thing. I didn't even know they paid $50,000 for that basketball thing, but they did. It was effective because it was like a cross promotion. If you remember Space Jam, it kind of blend the worlds together since they were all of them in the Warner family. So the Elite did some damage, all right. They attacked and targeted Hangman Page. Hangman Page no longer the number one contender for the AEW World Title. After he put his title shot, and he thought he can help put his title shot on the line and propel the Dark Order in a tag team title shot, didn't be the case. The Elite decided to attack, and they did so, leaving Hangman Page out. The Dark Order wanted to come out there, but Hangman Page said he didn't need a Dark Order. So Dark Order was going to come out there, but just didn't come out the way Hangman Page wanted them to. So, there they go. Also, too, Miro, God's favorite champion. Miro, I like saying Miro, his name. He's different. Well, Miro says that he is God's favorite champion. Miro went against Lee Johnson. Lee Johnson put up a good fight, but at the end, we knew Miro was going to win. Miro did win, and Miro making stuff happen, making things happen for a reason. So Miro wins, retains his TNT title. Miro becoming a dominant champion on his own. And then, if you recall, Miro did if you didn't see, Miro did something with John Cena, greeting him. They're two former rivals at a premiere of that Suicide Squad, I guess. Miro retained his TNT title. Miro becoming the fighting champion with the TNT championship around his waist. If we can get a picture of the TNT title, that TNT title it looks better. So just the shot of Miro right here with the TNT title. Look at it. It's like colors and stuff. So built by Dan. I kind of like belts by Dan. He make good belts. Kind of like that world belt. He did like a makes your world championship belt. It's similar to the Winged Eagle belt, but it's sort of like if I had a promotion, I would want that to be my promotion's top title. So you know, there you go and stuff. um Also too, the AEW had the women's action as the Bunny went against legit Layla Hirsch. Well, the Bunny kept looking at Camille, the NWA Women's Champion. A lot of people saying that championship is plastic, and they trying to say the NWA is a dying breed. But look at it like this: the NWA needs AEW because AEW has that national exposure, and exposed on national exposure on TNT. They get more eyeballs on their product. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's cross promotion. So if Camille shows up and just does like how her other predecessors did, like Thunder Rosa and Serena Dell, she could probably make a difference. And Camille, at her size and her ability, she is like an Amazon lady, looking like this. But later Hurst did defeat the Bunny. But you see right here, this is a mismatch right here. This is a mismatch. No offense to neither one women, but I could see Jade Cargill going against Camille. That'd be a match that everybody wants to see. Two Amazons, you know, beating the crap out of each other for just that. But no one wants to see, people might want to see it, but I would say this would probably be like this, if it gets like that, she'll easily beat her in a rad dog. But if they saving that for the NWA's pay-per-view, what they're having with Mickey James is doing her little women's all event women's pay-per-view. Never know. But we'll see on that. Or they could have just had this lady showed up. Ruby Soho, Ruby Riott. Since she has nothing to do and her non-complete clause is coming up very shortly. So it's a lot to entail. So I think the AEW got to really look at that real good and real close and real careful to book something like that. But you never know. You never know. Also, too, what else happened? Well, Red Velvet, she did a segment with Britt Baker, and this fan wrote this. The segment was awesome, but this is what we want, AEW. Was that kind of hard? Keep those segments coming. Super excited that match next week on Rampage. So the fan made his claim that he'd like to see that match between Red Velvet versus Dr. Big Breaker. I'm in my kitchen anyway, so in your mama's kitchen. Red Velvet. She like Justin Roberts like to say, in your mama's kitchen. Well, Red Velvet gets her chance to go for the Women's Championship on the very first edition of AEW Rampage next Friday night live. So in Pittsburgh. So we'll see. And then Britt Baker, she's gonna be the crowd favorite because she's the hometown girl. So look for that. So there you go. Britt Baker. We'll talk about too with her husband. What he gonna do? Is he gonna leave WWE and join her in AEW? Is anytime telling, so we'll see on that. Adam Cole make that jump, so we'll see. Also, too, the main event was versus Cody versus Malachi Black. Malachi Black with this entrance right here. Doesn't look like his Aleister Black days. He came out with some little heads, something with a hat or something, not hat, but face mask, a mask or something like that. But he took Cody to the limit by kicking Cody, popping him in his face, and the match didn't end within 5 minutes. As you see right here, Cody was contemplating retirement. That is, they were showing Tony Schiavone came out there to check on Cody and see Cody was okay. Cody looked okay, but Cody was contemplating should he retire. He was contemplating even more. So he was like, "Hey, should I retire or what?" And just didn't come out the way. Cody got attacked, and Cody was about to take his boot off. Like, it's wrestling courtesy. When you take your boot off, you leave it in the middle of the ring, you're indicating that you're retiring. Well, Cody tried to do that, but Malachi Black came out of nowhere and attacked Cody from behind, leaving Cody out of question. So it kind of makes you wonder, like, okay, what's next? It's just going to continue on. It's going to continue on. We just don't know when, where, and how. But the feud will arise. It's far from over between these two. You can tell you right there, it's far from over. Cody probably gonna take some time out to take a sabbatical. Spend time with his newborn daughter. Do other projects like the Big Go Home show that got renewed for a second season. Working on his reality show that he's gonna do on TNT, probably on TBS soon. So it's a lot going on Cody's plate. So Cody's trying to, and I can relate with Cody. What a week it's been for me is a lot been on my plate as well. So I'm gonna be still trying to make videos, but hopefully you can bear with me. I'm making the video now, so you're bearing with me. So I appreciate that the most. But Cody taking the time out, so we appreciate Cody for doing so. Cody, take some time out. There's been rumors and reports that we know allegedly CM Punk and Daniel Bryan are coming. We just don't know when, we just don't know where, but they are speculated to come. So that will kind of give you that indication. All right, that ends the AEW Ring Report. Let's quickly move to Hot Topics. Now, we talked about Hot Topics this week that Adam Cole, baby. Adam Cole. Could Adam Cole join could Adam Cole, join AEW? That's the kicker. That's the question. I mean, Adam Cole has the appeal. Adam Cole has the wrestling persona. And then he has a Link, his wife, Britt Baker, is there. So it's just a possibility. Adam Cole probably know that he ain't gonna be used the right way in WWE in the main roster. And can he live with that? Yeah, he probably live with that. But I think Adam Cole would probably see what's best for him. It was best for him to probably go to AEW. Just go. Just go, not think about nothing. Just go. Also, too, the wrestling world lost another legend, Mr. Wrestling, who was the father of Nick Patrick. I forgot his name, the Destroyer. He used to have feuds with Dusty Rhodes and call out Dusty Rhodes and stuff. He passed away, and our thoughts and prayers are with him at the moment. So pray for him. Also, too, on another note, I lost one of my colleagues at my job. As you see right here, I worked at the library. I lost Mr. Byron Williams, and it was just I got the news today. He passed away this past Saturday. Um, Byron Williams is a great man. He will live on. He would, I mean, if he would take his own shirt off to give it to you if you can. He was just a helpful guy that tried to help everybody he can and try to help everyone succeed. And it's just a loss. I feel for his son. I feel for his wife. What big loss for them. What big loss for the BLP family. And he will be forever in our hearts. And he will. I mean, sometimes he was trying to chastise me like, ugh. And you had to take it like a man, and that's why I did. I took it like a man, but he will be missed, and I'm gonna pray tonight for him and his family because he's in a better place. He's in a better place, and I'm gonna dedicate this episode to Mr. Byron Williams, and hopefully his legacy will live on. So for me being Kendrick Dix saying so long, we'll see you next week on another edition. We'll see you on SmackDown for SmackDown Ring Report. So we ain't going nowhere. We'll see you for the SmackDown Ring Report. I've been your host, Kendrick Dix saying so long. See you later. Rest in peace, bye.